really direct halt. That's more or less the same as the collected walk we were talking about. We never think of the entrance as the thing we should train. It's not like tempi changes or a pirouette, but it still counts for the same amount of points as many other movements, and it's not that easy to have, I suppose, also a 10 on those entrance. And the horses are not quite yet in the mood and are not totally into the test yet, so tiny misunderstanding in the preparation for the halt and a few piaffe steps. This does not count for extra points if you do some extra piaffe, so that's a shame. Okay, not quite a direct transition to passage. We had a few steps off trot, but okay, now she's comfortable in the passage. A tiny bit coming over the bit and unsteady, but quite on the spot. So same thing in the extended walk. The horses should have a longer neck, of course, longer reins, keep the contact here. Wodan was a little bit playing with the contact, coming a little bit too low and deep, but the rider immediately corrected it to keep the pole in the right position. And yeah, we see again a horse a little bit playing with the bit, not quite a perfectly closed and smooth mouth. Again, pretty unsteady and moving forwards a lot and a little bit too few strides of piaffe. Again, this long collected canter period will have an influence, so the horse must immediately jump into a nice collected canter. Okay, those are quite nice ground covering changes, no mistakes. Spooky, and back into order. Oh, that's gonna cost quite a lot of points. Again, it's the balance between so much collection and then having the horses really forwards that are some of the difficult parts of the test, going back and forwards again. And then again, misunderstanding with the rider for the tempi changes. We can tell a little bit from the contact that the horse is not 100% focused and confident on what's going on. Okay, tiny bit of loss of impulsion out of the pirouette. Really straight change. And again, like a little bit in the piaffe, we have a horse a little bit over the bit and not quite willing to sit enough in the pirouette. And once again, even the most difficult test, this Grand Prix, has some really simple movements like a canter trot transition, which has to be also perfectly executed, and which is not necessarily the easiest, especially after the pirouettes. The horses have made a real effort. And this last line, of course, where they need to have just as much energy as for the first piaffe, but they have a whole Grand Prix behind them, so they have to really go for it for this last line. And of course they know perfectly that that's the end. They often anticipate a tiny bit, but he's being a good boy and going straight to the halt.
Thank you very much for Belgium, Françoise Hologne-Joux and Wodan, number 2.